Hey everybody, it's time to relax. The sun will be going down soon. As they say around here, crack a tin with your mates, right? That's time for the Stone and Wood post show. What a day here at Burleigh Heads on this iconic right-hand point break, which really built so many stories in competitive surfing, going back to the Stubbies Pro and getting to see what we saw today, some of the best conditions we've had during this waiting period with more to look forward to. Thanks for being with us, Joe Turpel, Flick Palmatier, and Richie Lovett. A lot of excitement today, and just conditions-wise, what did you see, Flick?
There was a bit to learn, right? I think we were digesting it before, and I think the tide obviously plays a big factor into where you're going to position before you heat. And I think, you know, obviously that low tide, you get that bank that moves sort of into the beach break. And then on the high tide earlier this morning, you got it right in on the rock break. And I think we were kind of saying, you know, you can't be too set in your ways and set in your plan. You can't come down here 2 hours before and make a plan and think that's still going to be the same one, because it's forever changing and you've got to be adaptable.
Really good point, Flick. And also looking at all the big performances we did see today. A lot to unpack there, Rick, but who do you think made the biggest statement?
For me, it was Felipe Toledo. His performance today was back to just vintage Felipe. In total control, the chest was puffed up, he was ready to go, and dropped some huge numbers. We've been waiting for Felipe to just fully connect. He's put some incredible waves together, but that was a heat where he was in total control. And unfortunate for Crosby, he was just on the wrong end of it.
You know what? Let's get right into that. That was an impactful performance. Filipe Toledo, as we knew, took the year off last year. Two-time world champ. He was the reigning world champ when he made that decision. And he said he's just been waiting to find that rhythm. And, wow, it was all magic today.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was going to say, Crosby surfed really well on the waves he got. You know, his performance was really good, solid as a rock. Really didn't make any mistakes, but Felipe was just on fire.
Yeah, he looked incredible, and I just thought it was really telling, the post-season interview he did. You know, he's just saying, you know, I've got two world titles now, I've won, you know, so many events, and I've come back after this, you know, year off, and I'm sort of asking myself, do I still have it? Do I still have what it takes? And this was so awesome to watch. I mean, Crosby really took it to him too. I mean, you can't count out Cros. I mean, he also dropped that 7.9 and the 7.43, but was not good enough for Felipe. It was epic to see him back and to be so vulnerable in the post-season interview.
Yeah, it was good.
And really happy in that. Yeah, you could tell he's recognizing that feeling back in his system.
100%. I was just about to say, you know, in a lot of the heat interviews, even when he's got the victory, just there hasn't been that emotion. There hasn't been that happiness behind it. You know, he felt like he was maybe a bit hard done by on some scores, but now everything just clicked. You know, he spent a lot of time with the fans, signing autographs. And this is danger signs for the rest of the field.
He's such a unique competitor, you know, just with how explosive he is, how he can just build confidence and shut everybody down. He certainly did that today. Crosby's got to hold his head high. 7.9 and a 7.43. What a performance and a loss in the round of 32.
Yeah, and, you know, obviously Cros has had an interesting year. You know, he was out for a number of events. And then he's had some incredible results, you know, did really well at El Salvador. So, you know, he should go away from today going, you know what, I'm happy with the way I performed and the way I competed. I just came up against the tornado.
But you have certain guys that require less, and this guy requires less volume, even in his equipment. Filipe Toledo's on 26 liters of
crazy
volume.
Yeah, I find that bizarre, you know, given just how much power he outputs on his turns. It's incredible to me.
So he's 5'9.5" in height, 167 pounds. That's 76 kilos-ish. Yeah. For him to ride boards that thin, 2.38, they're in the 18 mark width-wise. Yeah. That narrow, that light, everyone else is going volume up. Foam is your friend, where Felipe's like, I don't even need extra foam. And it looks great. I mean, he looks like he's in complete control of that sharp bite.
But he looks in control. It's whatever it is that's working for him, even though we're having these debates and we're thinking, wow, because it is crazy to think about it. You know, and most guys are riding up into that 29, 30. Like, he's not a small guy. So he's obviously pushing really hard, and he must be working hard, though, to push that little volume through the water.
Yeah, well, he dominates his boards. He completely controls them and overpowers them. But he's right on the edge. I know he rides a large fin for, you know, such a guy who's quite short. You know, he's not that tall. But, again, it's just the formula they've got with Sharp Eye, it's working perfectly.
Yeah, FCS2's roundtail system on that Sharp Eye. That was actually a replica of the win he had in 2017 at Jeffreys Bay, what he rode today. Filipe looking incredibly dangerous. Now thinking about other major moments we had today. This one we just couldn't wait to get started. Boost Mobile heat of the day. Steph Gilmore, 8-time world champ, a wild card this time, taking on the teenage phenom of Caity Simmers.
This was cool. We obviously saw him in the opening round. Caity got the jump on Steph, and Steph was like, nah. I mean, Vaughn had a moment with her earlier in the morning, and she actually indicated how much she wanted to win this. She's like, nah, hopefully I win. It's an exciting heat. But, I mean, she dropped a couple of hammers. But Caity, though, dropped this excellent wave. And, I mean, from this moment onwards, I was thinking, oh, wow, okay. You know, the reigning world champ sort of got the 8-time world champ on the ropes here. You drop an excellent score and you're thinking, yep, she's just going to keep rolling with that. But Steph was able to find this backup 6 down the line, underneath priority. Just true veteran, you know, kind of wizard status there. And her surfing, it's cool, right? We get to see it, and I guess the point was packed as well. No one really knows what the future of Steph holds. So it's just really cool to see, yeah, true Steph on a point break. And yeah, the next heat that she's got coming up too is going to be an exciting one.
This is huge. To beat the reigning world champ, world number 2 at the time, out of the event, Steph versus Caity. I mean, it felt like this heritage heat where you're celebrating surfing, but this is still in the main event at the CT level. And Gilmore looking this incredible, really shaking up the world title race, Rick.
Yeah, cat amongst pig amongst the pigeons for sure. And felt like in that heat, you know, both those women had something to prove, and it wasn't just a bit of a throwaway heat. There was a lot at stake there for both of them. For Steph, it's maybe like, hey, I've still got it. Hey, you know, if I'm around next year, look out. And Caity trying to go, you know, this is my tour now, and you know, trying to flex. So interesting result. They got one each in the event, but Steph's still going. Danger signs again for the rest of the field.
We're definitely the winners there. Caity losing with an 8. She definitely performed. Then Steph cleaning it up with that timeless style. That was iconic, but we got to really focus in on the rankings now for the GWM Aussie treble. This is stop 2. Isabella still looking sharp, way out front, and missing those big names. You know, we're talking Gabi Bryan out of the event, world number 1. World number 2, Caity Simmers out of the event as well.
Yeah, they're 2 massive names. And I mean, I even think, you know, I think obviously the next event as well, you got Margie's in the mix, and you think about the women. Isabella's won at Margaret River before too, going into that event. I know it's early days still here at Burleigh, but you just start thinking about that. And Lulu still up there, you know, number 2, you know, with a second at Bell, still in the draw here. It's looking good for Lulu. Someone's going to be driving away with a brand new car. That tank's looking good.
Wow, GWM Tank 300 on the line. And yeah, just to note, Lulu looked really solid against Gabi Bryan this morning on her 21st birthday. How about that? As we're seeing new names really rise on the Australian leg of the tour.
Yeah, and I think for Lulu in particular, you know, we over the last couple of events, we've just spoken about her mental game, and that confidence is starting to build. And with each heat, she's like, yeah, okay, I can do this. I can beat these top seeds, you know, and she's starting to do it. It's really fun to watch all that stuff become a reality for her.
Well, today was really amazing, waking up to beautiful waves and weather. It started getting challenging towards the end of the day, but I keep hearing all these rumors about tomorrow's looking even better. Let's bring up the maps with Surfline Flick. What do we have to look forward to?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk, and that's because we've got this big purple blob right here moving up the coast. You can see all that red, all that energy just sort of, you know, raining down on Burleigh, and we've been blessed. It's picked up throughout today, and the good news is we've got more swell coming, apparently picking up tomorrow.
Yeah, I reckon tomorrow's going to be on. I don't want to put my neck out too far, but from all reports, I think this swell's just going to organise itself a little bit more. It's going to kick a little, and as we look from sort of Friday through to Monday, you know, there's really good signs in terms of wave height. The wind, as we saw today, it was beautiful and smooth this morning. Perfect Gold Coast conditions. I think we'll have that again. And then we might be just dodging the wind, but I'm pretty confident that tomorrow's going to be a rundown.
I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad you stuck your neck out there. I'm planning for a big day of competition. Well, we had a clutch performance from a Brazilian vet in the last heat. Alejo Muniz is standing by with Laura Enever.
Yes, Alejo, an absolutely clutch heat at the end there. So exciting to end an incredible day. You know, talk us through your day being last heat, but yeah, coming up with a worthy opponent, Rio, but getting the jump on him.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, today was a very long day. I was here first light this morning and the waves were pumping. I was like, hopefully they start with the men. So I got a chance to surf at midday today. We thought the wind's supposed to be a lot stronger, but it never really showed up. So we had some really fun waves during our heat. Rio is one of the top guys on tour now, and he beat me a few times this year already. So it was good to have a hit against him again. And this time I could found better waves than the other hits I have against him. So yeah, I stoked to make it.
Amazing. And you've been traveling this year with your coach, Adriano de Souza. Talk us through your approach in that heat. What was he saying to you?
He actually knew what was going to happen during the heat before, so I just tried to follow what he was saying and using my knowledge as well, you know, and trying to feel how everything was working. At the end, Rio was really far from me, and I thought I should go and try to block him, and he was just telling me to be patient, so I just followed what he was saying on the beach, and it worked out in the end.
Well, your boards are looking great. Talk us through what board you're riding.
Yeah, I'm riding SRS. It's a brand from Brazil. I've been working with him for like 5 years. And actually, that's the first carbon board we made, and it's working really, really good. So hopefully the waves don't go too big and I can still ride that one.
Surfing amazing, flaring. Congratulations into the next round.
Thank you.
I love it. Alejo obviously wants to get really drained at Burleigh Heads, but when you got a magic board that feels good on the day, you just want to ride it from here on out. Great performance from Alejo. What a crazy story. 8 years of trying to get himself back on tour. That famous rookie season where he finished in the top 10 and Julian Wilson was in his rookie class. It's fun that they're both still in the mix here in 2025, Flip.
I think it's inspiring. I think it's really cool. And, you know, I think to this performances we've seen from Jules, and probably, you know, there's Queen questions asked, has he still got it? Same from Alejo. And I just love the grit, the determination. I almost love that story more than just that classic hero story, because there's something about the underdog that just gets me fired up.
Good point, good point. Looking forward to Alejo moving on, taking on Baron Mamiya in the round of 16. Hydrolite heat to watch, though, coming up probably first thing in the morning. What a big clash from a local hero. Liam O'Brien on his home break of Burleigh Heads, taking on a guy who's finished third in the world 2 times, Griffin Colapinto. What do you think, Rick?
What a matchup. This one is going to be amazing and something to get up for in the morning. You know, Griff, he has had a terrible year up to the last event, really. Way down on the ratings, but, you know, bounced back in a big way down at Bells, and he's been surfing well. And he's going to need to surf well because this is Liam's home turf.
Who's winning that one, Rick?
You know what? I'm going to go with the Aussie flag on this. I'm going to go with a local boy.
Liam O'Brien. Huge call there. I like it. I'm going to get Flick's opinion in a moment, but we've got the women's final series already stacked up and ready to predict some champions with some big names out of the mix. Gabby Bryan out this morning. Caity Simmers out to Steph Gilmore. Gilmore will have Erin Brooks, who looked sensational today.
That is going to be a great matchup. You know, obviously Steph's been in Erin's position before, much like what she'd been in Caity's today. It's just really cool. I love seeing that. I can't get past quarter 2. Molly Picklum, Bettylou Sakura Johnson. This rivalry is just continuing to build. They've had multiple heats together at Sunset, the iconic one at Pipeline and Backdoor. I just think those 2 women are going to want to push it, and they both are, but Molly, to me, just feels like she's finding her feet here, so I'm looking at quarter 2.
Yeah, no, the back half looks equally as exciting. Obviously, the GOAT, Steph Gilmore, against the young upstart, Erin Brooks. Again, both those surfers are going to have a point to prove. I feel like Erin struggled for a little bit of form. She seems to have found a magic board. Apparently, Matt Biolas delivered that the last couple of days. And then that final heat against Isabella and Sally, 2 incredibly good friends. And Sally's fighting back, trying to just salvage her place on tour. So, yeah, that'll be a really good one as well.
Pretty crazy looking finals draw, and especially for Erin Brooks to kind of find her mojo today. Her best heat score on the CT Tour is a 7.43. Now a 9.43, 2 points better with that big backside hammer, and really looked unstoppable against Lakey Peterson today.
Yeah, you've got to be wondering what is this going to do for her confidence, because even the wave that she took off after that, she just pushed so much harder. And I feel she's obviously had a CT win event already as a wild card last year, but it's different when you're full-time on the CT, and I think this could just do something for her. It's like, you know, the floodgates open, it's all of a sudden, I can do this, I can get these 9s, I can get excellent scores. So it's going to be a doozy of a heat, that quarterfinal number 3 with Steph.
There we go. Fun part of the Stone and Wood post show is the BioGland Daily Dose. Top 5 moments of a big Thursday here at Burleigh Heads. First thing in the morning, happy birthday, Luana Silva. Nothing better on your birthday to take down world number 1, Gabby Bryan.
Yeah, this was giant. She's just gone from strength to strength, continuing with the form that she took from Bells to Burleigh, and it was really cool to see. For me, it was a wave selection thing with Lulu, and that she'd really figured out the point, just really placing beautiful turns here. Whereas, I mean, Gabriela fought back. She had her moments, but it was just, Luana was just too good. I mean, just real flawless surfing, and you can see Richard Dogmarsh just not stoked with that outcome. But the opposite, Leandro is.
Number 4, Hedgie working with Cibilic. It's paying off again, Rick.
Yeah, well, the real late call-up for the wild card, Morgan Cibilic, up against Ethan Ewing. And Morgan, again, just with nothing to lose, like down at Bells, bringing this really fast, rapid approach. And unfortunately for Ethan Ewing, how he did.
World number 2 out, Ethan representing Queensland, and Cibilic moves on. Number 3 on the BioGland Daily Dose. Excellent heat from Molly Pickle.
Oh, just look at these conditions from this morning. It was amazing, right? And kind of hinted at it before, but we think, I mean, we're talking about it. Molly feels like she's slipping into this form. We haven't seen her win an event yet this year onto a 8.27 and the 8-point ride. You know, the double excellent. I just feel, to me, things are flowing for Molly. She's kind of under the radar too, you know. It's just, I don't know, I just have this feeling about her. She seems very content too. I've seen her around the contest site, just cruising through, and I think she has a lot more to give. And you think, okay, Swell's going to pick up tomorrow too. Could be in her favour.
Number 2, Erin Brooks, 9.43, highest score of the event so far.
Yeah, the rookie burst the veteran, and Erin Brooks, she found something in this heat, built the confidence, and this rapid backhand attack with that final hammering finishing turn, and she is gaining fans in a big way.
Win of the day, Filipe Toledo explodes, 9.37, highest score on the men's side so far.
This was just so cool to watch. It was an absolute storm out there. He nailed it. And I think for me, it was just him coming back into his own and just feeling like, yes, I'm back and I'm here. Because I just said it before, I just think those questions start creeping in, like, oh, I haven't really found my feet yet. You know, a couple of okay moments at Bells, but I still haven't had that, like, convincing win yet, and he's well and truly cracked the code now.
Yep.
There's a lot of attention on those big names, you know, like Felipe. And it really reminds me of those years Gabriel Medina would kind of warm up to the tour. He was kind of famous for all of a sudden halfway point of the season, he would catch fire and then just completely blow everybody out for the rest of the season. And Gabe would be open about it, saying, yeah, I'm just, the rhythm of competing, I'm getting it. It's just coming a little bit later than I'd like, and then he'd just catch fire. I think Felipe is going through the exact same thing on his comeback.
Yeah, right there. You know, obviously a pet event. He's won this event before. The next one we're going to, he's won that event before. You know, it's all setting up quite well for him. He's catching fire at the right time.
Looking forward to it. Great day, you guys. Thanks, Flick.
You too, mate.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks.
You.
On behalf of all of our crew here at Burleigh Heads and the WSL, thanks so much for watching. Tomorrow morning, 6:45 call. We've got some big heats to look forward to in the back end of the round of 32 and quarterfinals for the women. We'll leave you with the highlights, and we'll see you bright and early.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.